When my father went up the mountain to hunt, he saw a white fox cub trapped by a hungry wolf. He immediately raised his shotgun, thinking he could kill two birds with one stone. But who would have imagined that the white fox would speak like a human? "Boy, if you save my life today, one day I will marry you." My father saw that the white fox was unusually charming, so he shot the wolf and brought her home. To repay his kindness, the white fox transformed into a beautiful woman and married my father. Not long afterward, my fox mother became pregnant with me. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 years passed, and I had grown into a young man capable of climbing the mountains with an axe. One day, while I was going up the mountain to cut firewood, I came across a huge white python. Coiled in its body was an injured little fox. I did not even have time to think. I threw the axe I was holding. It struck the giant white python squarely in the head. Blood splattered instantly. The snake writhed a few times, rolled its eyes back, and died. Although the little fox had been saved, she was already half dead, so I carried her home and treated her wounds with liquor. Before long, she was able to run and jump again. From then on, the little fox stuck to my home like a pet dog. But I was an orphan with no father or mother, and it was already hard enough taking care of myself. Several times I drove her back into the mountains, but every night she would stagger back. Sometimes she brought wild fruits in her mouth, and other times wild rabbits or jungle fowl. Then I realized that the little fox was trying to tell me that she could take care of herself. Only then did I feel at ease and adopt her. From that day on, she became my inseparable companion. If I went to cut firewood, she came along. If I herded sheep, she followed me too. Even when I was doing my homework, she would sit quietly beside me to keep me company. But those days came to an abrupt end when I was in my final year of high school. The little fox suddenly disappeared. I waited until nightfall, but she never returned. Instead, an elderly woman who looked quite wealthy came to my door. She smiled at me in a very strange way. "Boy, I've come looking for my granddaughter. Have you seen her?" My heart tightened. No outsiders had come to the village recently. "Who is your granddaughter?" The old woman coughed softly and stared at me. "A few years ago, I went on a journey and left my granddaughter to watch the house. But when I returned, she had disappeared. Someone told me she is living in your home." Hearing that left me completely confused. "I lived alone." "You must be mistaken," I replied politely. The old woman let out an "ah," nodded, but kept staring toward my kitchen. I followed her gaze. When I turned around, I discovered the little fox crouching there. She was looking at the old woman while wagging her tail, and it almost seemed as if she were smiling. It should be said that this was the first time she had ever allowed herself to be seen by another person. The old woman smiled for a while and then left without saying a word. That night, the little fox slept on my stomach as usual, but when I woke up the next morning, I discovered that she had disappeared again. As soon as I got out of bed, I noticed a red bodice lying on the table. Inside the bodice was also a lock of long black woman's hair. So I took the items and immediately went to see the village chief. When he saw them, he smacked me on the head and laughed. "Oh, Nianan, a girl is giving you signals. With these, you can go to her house and ask for her hand in marriage." I was completely stunned. What girl would ever take an interest in a poor fellow like me? Could this be something the little fox had brought me? But I never imagined that from that day on, the little fox would never appear again. She was gone, and I felt an enormous emptiness inside. Every day, apart from eating and sleeping, I searched for her throughout the mountains. Then, one night, about half a month later, an old woman appeared once again at my door. But this time she had not come to give thanks. Instead, she occasionally let out sobs. Full of confusion, I went to the door. "Madam, what are you doing here?" The old woman suddenly raised her head. On her bark-like wrinkled face was a terrifying malice. A gloomy voice emerged from her mouth. "I'm looking for my grandson. He has disappeared. You've seen my grandson, haven't you?" I could not help but shiver. Last time she had been looking for her granddaughter, and now she was looking for her grandson.